All right, what's up guys? I got a slightly different video for you today because I got a new car. So I want to introduce you to it, give you a little bit of a walk around. We're going to take it for a rip. You're going to see what it's about because you'll see this in a few of the future videos. It's a 2024 Spyder RS. It's a car I've been waiting for a very long time. This isn't the exact spec that I ordered. I ordered a different spec, but I managed to land on this one. I'll tell that story later. But first, let me give you a quick walk around so you can see what it's all about. I'll point out some of the features, quirks and features maybe, from my perspective as a relatively newish owner. I've had it for a couple of weeks now, so I've gotten pretty familiar with it. It's an amazing car. It's by far my favorite today out of everything that I own and everything that I've owned in the past. And that includes even the Turbo S and the 720S from McLaren and a few others. So let me give you a quick walk around. We're going to take it for a drive. I'm going to go get a quick iced coffee, and then I'm going to try to make a few more videos in it. I'm a little concerned about the induction noise and the exhaust noise and how that's going to come out in the videos, but let me show you the car first. I'll give you the exterior look, and then we'll hop in it and we'll go for a quick rip. All right, so here you go. I believe the color code is Guards Red. The wheels are, I believe, coated neodyne, which are essentially chrome. Sorry, not chrome. They're like a matte bronzy gold color. There's loads and loads of carbon fiber on this one because it's got the Y-sock package. It's got carbon intakes on the side over here. These are air intakes for the engine. So it's the intake that draws the engine into, or sorry, draws the fresh air into the engine, which coincidentally is right over your shoulders. So it will be rather noisy. It's got this ducktail on the back. This car, by the way, is identical to the GT4 RS, with the exception that it has softer spring rates on the wheels and no top, obviously. But the suspension components, the brakes, everything is identical to a GT4 RS, minus the top, basically. On the back here, we've got the titanium exhaust, which sounds amazing. Under here, we've got a soft top, which I'm not going to demonstrate in this video, maybe in a future one, because it's in two pieces and it takes 2 minutes to put on and off. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. We've got these extractor vents here on the front, which remove air pressure from the wheel well. They've also included this, which is new for this vehicle, which again extracts air away from that area. There's venting over here, which is totally new. Venting here for the front brakes, and carbon fiber hood. What else can I show you on the exterior before we get in? That's it. I mean, the car's pretty much loaded. The only thing it's missing from the order list that I could see was this piece here in carbon fiber, which isn't that big of a deal. And if I'm not mistaken, that's really about it. Every option is ticked on this car. And it's not much of a new car. It's more of a parts bin car, which I'm okay with, because the last time there was a really good parts bin car out there, it was a BMW 1M, which was a phenomenal vehicle. A lot of the tech in this car is older, like the MMI, so the, you know, your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It doesn't even have Android Auto, it's just Apple CarPlay. But all of these things are generally missing because you're paying for the motor. You're paying for the GT3 motor, which is a 4-liter flat six, naturally aspirated. I think in this car it produces about 495 horsepower. They say it makes less power than the 911 because the exhaust is a little bit longer than the 911. The exhaust path is a little bit longer because this is mid-engine instead of rear engine. So in my estimation, this car should be better balanced. I don't think it'll be faster in the twisties than a GT3 or a GT3 RS, simply because Porsche won't hold back their flagship vehicle from being the best that it can possibly be. Sorry, so they hold back this car, is what I'm trying to say, which is kind of stupid. I think the biggest thing on this car that's going to slow it down for cornering speed wise is probably a tire size. So it's 245 on the front, 295 on the rear. And if you're getting into a GT3 RS, which a friend of mine has, and we've driven Blue Ridge Parkway, a lot of the Appalachian Mountain area, he's got a 325 on the rear, sorry, 335 I think actually, and a 275 on the front. So there's no real way that this is ever going to compete with a GT3 or GT3 RS product directly. Indirectly, it's just their only convertible race car, basically. The way that I describe this is, it's a race car without a roof. And that's the experience that I'm looking for on the road. And today's a great day for it. It's mid-20s. It's a nice hot sunny day, so let's go for a rip. First thing to do is though, get in the seat, which is a bit of a production, which I'll show you because they're deep carbon buckets. So let's do that first. All right, let's get this mic on here so you can hear me. As you can see, it's a bit of a production because of these deep bucket seats. You have to almost hold on to the side and the sills, and then you slide yourself forward to where you want to be because they're manual seats. they are not powered. But again, what you're paying for with this car is the Motorsport engine, which is the swan song, if you will. This is purportedly the last petrol-powered 718, the Porsche lineup, which is the Boxster lineup. This is the GT3 motor. They've never put it in any other car except for the 911s. And it's something else. So we have an exhaust valve, which I'll open up in a second once we get rolling, so you can, I don't know if it'll pick up the difference, but the huge difference with this car is the induction sound that you get through the intakes. Now, I've watched every review on YouTube that I've seen. They're all fantastic. If you want an automotive reviewer's perspective, go watch them. I'm a automotive enthusiast owner, more of a rally car driver. That's not off-road rally gravel style. It's more of like road trip rallies with my boys. So from that perspective, I'll save that for later. I'll reserve it for later until I've gone on a actual rally with the car to tell you what it's all about. But let's head over, grab a nice coffee, because I got a bit of a drive today. So I don't know if you can hear it, if this mic will pick it up, but the induction sound is much louder in the car than what it is in videos that I've seen. We've got warm engine oil and everything, so let's let it rip. You get the idea, right? And that's with the exhaust valve closed. So all you're getting is mostly induction sound from the engine intake just over my shoulder. I'm almost wondering when I get into rally mode if I'm going to need to wear an earplug in one ear and the radio set up in my other ear, because we always travel with radios to communicate back and forth for passing, for we need fuel stop, whatever it might have to be. So we stay in radio contact. But the induction is so loud over my shoulder, I don't know if 6 days of driving is going to cause hearing damage, but such is life, and such is, you know, the endearing quality of this vehicle is the fact that it can almost literally make you deaf. Some people might say, Rich, you're crazy, that's stupid, why would you expose yourself to that unnecessary risk, blah, blah, blah. But I am a petrol head through and through, right to the end, and this is me. I like fast shit, I like noisy shit. It's why I don't have an electric car yet. 1 second. Hi there. Can I get a medium iced coffee, please? Yeah. Thank you. Did you get that okay? Yeah. All right. Okay. So, you know, on hot days like this in Toronto, you got to grab a nice coffee from Timmy's, because it is a staple in Canada. So I'm taking you through the drive-through with me anyway. Hi. Thank you. You can hear all the mechanical sounds sort of echoing off the bricks over there that the Motorsport engine makes. Let me open up the exhaust valve to see if it makes any difference on the recording, because I'm actually curious what the sound will be. They're open now. Thanks. Can I have a straw too, please? Thank you. All right, and we're off. We're off to the races, I guess, eh? Let's have a little conversation about this car, because I've been excited about this for almost 2.5 years. I can't tell you how much anticipation has led up to this vehicle. And I'll tell you the story between the one that I ordered and the one that I got, because they're two totally different cars. I'm just going to cruise now and talk, because I'm also curious as a content creator what the audio is going to be like for you guys watching. So I'm super curious about that. Anyway, so a few years ago, I heard, you know, the announcement that Porsche was going to put the GT3 motor in the Boxster as a Spyder vehicle. They had already been toying around with the GT4 and the Spyder, which basically took a Carrera motor, which is not a very impressive motor, but it still makes good power, about 400 horsepower. It's not a motorsport motor, it doesn't rev very fast. They put shitty gearing in it to kind of hold it back, and it was a hit. People loved it, and they asked for more, so they asked for the RS version of it, which would mean Porsche would have to put the Motorsport engine, and they did. So they made the announcement. I was talking to some friends about it. A good friend of mine that I do a lot of rallies with basically said, hey, you know, I can get an allocation if you want one. So I spec'd an order. They don't just give it to a Joe Blow from the street. So my connection got me, or took my order, and I put a deposit down on it. And I was supposed to have it by March of this year, and it's the end of July as I'm recording this right now. Anyway, never came. He had a few of his cars delivered, but mine never actually really showed up. I'm actually concerned. I shouldn't have got a nice coffee, because if this spills, it's going to make a fucking mess. Gonna drink it down a little bit to make some space, because it is a very stiff suspension in this car, so bumps do unsettle it. Thankfully, you still get a cup holder in this car, because a lot of track-focused cars, which is what this is, they don't even come with cup holders, and this one's got 2 of them in it. So I'm still in the cup holder game. Anyway, so back to the story. Car never shows up. I start asking questions like, what's going on? And then it goes from, well, it's going to be delivered in Alberta, to it's going to be delivered in BC, to there's probably a 50-50 chance that it's coming now, I'm not sure what's happened, to Well, my car just got delivered last week that I ordered. I'm not going to take it. Do you want to assume it? So I went and looked at that spec, which had the regular comfort seats, the 18-way adjustable, which is more ideal for road-going rally use. It had a color I wasn't super fond of, and the wheels were painted black, which I don't like. One of the things that really blew me away when I saw this listed in the Auto Trader, so this was just a Auto Trader listing, just for sale, not in Ontario, in Quebec, and on consignment by the owner, which it only had 2,000 kilometers on it. Anyway, so I go look at this spec car, and I'm like right on the edge of, I'll take it. I can wrap it a different color if I want. I can take the wheels off and get them repainted a different color that I want. But within about a day or so, I'm in one of the Porsche WhatsApp chats that I'm in from like the rally groups here in Toronto, and somebody posted a listing for this car. And red on gold wheels, I was just like, damn. I've had a E46 M3, I'll have my editor put up a picture of that. That was a beautiful Amola red car. I remember when I was in England a few times visiting my family, my dad had a Subaru Impreza, and I don't know if I can find a picture of it. I'll see if I can get one. It was red, very similar to this, on gold wheels. So maybe that's the boy racer in me, maybe that's something you don't like. I don't really care, it's my preference, I liked it. And when I saw that listing for the car, I was just like, damn, that is a beautiful spec. My only concern was the seats. Are they going to be comfortable? Will I fit in them? Are they going to be good for road trips, or am I going to end up with back problems? And I don't have the answer to all those things just yet. I've spent maybe an hour or two in them tops so far just driving locally, and I haven't had any real issues with comfort. They're not comfortable. They're not adjustable that much. I can slide it back and forth, and there's a power button that raises and lowers them, but that's it. They're fixed. You can't recline them. There's no lumbar extension, anything like, there's not even a lumbar adjustment onto these, until I found a company called P1 Designs through the internet, and I ordered a set of seat inserts. So you can't see it in the video, but I mean, you probably saw it when I did the walk around. I showed you the seat, but there's red inserts in the seats. Those are just Velcroed in. So it's leather on the side. Over here you can see, and the inserts, the padding, are just Velcro pads, so you can pull them out very, very easily. So this company manufactures brand new inserts in Porsche finishes. I got houndstooth, which will be difficult to explain, but I'll show you them when they arrive. They should be here in a week or so. So I got a houndstooth pattern with red and white, and the cool thing about these inserts is that they're made with memory foam. They're a little bit thicker. I think they're ½ an inch thicker, and you can also order them with a lumbar bladder. So it's basically an air pump bladder that goes around to the side, and you sort of grab it like in the old-fashioned cars, and you'd pump it, or like a Nike pump shoe sort of thing, and you'd pump it, and that would give you a little more lumbar support and push your lower back out, which is what you want for longer road trips. So I've yet to see if that's going to solve the numerous complaints that older Porsche owners have about the seat comfort. Hopefully it does, because this is a phenomenal car. The upside to these seats over the comfort seats, which I have in my Porsche 911 Turbo S, which I still have, by the way, is that these ones, you feel everything. They're basically hard mounted almost to the car, and because there's no power adjustments and extra padding, and it's carbon fiber, you feel everything in the road. You feel what the engine's doing, what the suspension's doing, the level of grip that you're getting from your seats. You literally feel everything. There's nothing that is not communicated to your body via the steering wheel, the pedals, or your butt sitting in this chair. You receive information from all angles, and it is absolutely sensational. I can't praise this car enough. It is ridiculous how good this car is, and the fact that they're actually offering it to the public. Again, they've held it back a bit. They've put narrower tires on it than they have on the GT3 and the GT3 RS. It's not going to have the same levels of grip, but it's a road car. As you can see, I'm enjoying a nice sunny day. I can sip my iced coffee here. I can get a bit of a tan, and if I want to unleash hell, there's cars in front of me. I'm not going to do it right now. You can put your foot right down. You've got 9,000 revolutions per minute to play with, and every RPM sounds different from the prior. It's weird. Like, the engine notes that you hear through the induction over my shoulder are just, again, it's the final swan song for this car. And apparently the internal combustion engine for this car, Porsche said that they're canceling making any more gas-powered, petrol-powered 718 Boxsters going forward. They're all going to be electric. My editor will have put up a few press releases showing them up on the screen, but you'll get the idea. This car is beautiful. Before we wrap up, I want to let you guys hear it ripped through the gears. I'm going to try to get somewhere where there's no traffic in front of me so I can do a launch control. Very simple system in this car. Foot on brake, gas all the way down, let go of the brake, and it just unleashes hell. It's a phenomenal sound. It's something that you will be more impressed by in the car than you will watching the video, but I'm going to give you an idea of what that sounds like. Hopefully this mic picks up what we're looking for in that. Let me just think if there's anything else I should say before I do the launch control. I think that's it. I'll reserve more information about the car until I've taken it on a rally and driven it more, maybe had a track day, to give you a little more insight from an owner's perspective, because I've barely put on a few hundred kilometers as it stands. I'm just getting used to things. Like I said, it's a parts bin car. GT3 motor, 7-speed PDK. You don't even get the most modern transmission. The 8-speed PDK that's in my Turbo S is better than this one, but PDK is PDK. They're all very, very good. So this is from a later generation. The gauge console, the gauge cluster is peak sports car, very simple, analog tach, analog speedometer, a digital gauge to the right with the information that I need, engine temperature, oil pressure, voltage, standard stuff. The rest of it's very old school. Bunch of buttons here for suspension, PDK, shifting speed, traction control, exhaust valves, opens and close. That's it. You don't need anything else. It's a sports car. It's a race car with no roof. It's got all the underpinnings of a Porsche GT3 car. It is not the fastest car on the planet, but it is the most sensational car, in my opinion, that you can buy right now and drive on the planet. Short of, what can I say that might be better? Probably if I had the money and they would sell me one, which they don't sell them in North America, as far as I can tell. Gordon Murray T50, with that Cosworth V12 with the very high red line. So you get the idea. There's not much that you can buy in North America, in my opinion, for a few $100,000 that's going to blow your hair back like this thing does. This thing is sensational, and I'm going to show you a launch control as soon as I can get an opening here on the traffic on the road. Actually, you know what? I got to wait for another area, Velco, so let me just get it out of here and get to a different zone, because sometimes there's cops doing radar up there and it's not ideal. All right, let's get a little launch control in here because we got some space. I'm gonna slide this back so you can hopefully hear more of it. Foot on brake. Oh my God, that's wild. That is wild.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.